International Monetary Fund, IMF, must adapt to China. I believe that XRP is the answer. Guys, I got a really good article that I found on the IMF must adapt to China's rise of fintech to stay relevant. And actually, guys, this is a must-see video. In this article, they're going to say that Christine Lagarde references that Beijing could become the superpower, and depending on the way the law is drafted at the monetary fund, they would have to follow the law to this. Basically, if China becomes, at a certain level. Basically, guys, hell of an article here, guys. IMF must adapt to China's rise of fintech to stay relevant. International Monetary Fund must continue to adapt to rising economic powers such as China and new financial technologies to remain relevant in the next 75 years, the fund's acting managing director said on Monday. Now, this right here, guys, is International Monetary Fund Deputy Managing Director David Lipton attends the conference. Well, basically, Lipton, speaking at a conference in Paris marking the 75th anniversary of Bretton Woods, said the IMF, dominated by the United States and European industry powers since its inception, has built-in duty to reflect the rising power of emerging markets. Now, what they're going to go into, Lipton delivered a speech initially scheduled for IMF Managing Director Christine Lagarde, who was nominated earlier this month to become president of the European Central Bank. Shout out to Madame Lagarde. Lagarde has temporarily relinquished her IMF duties. Let me adjust this microphone. Lagarde has temporarily relinquished her IMF duties during the nomination period. Lipton noted that Lagarde's transition to the ECB in November was another change which the IMF is readily able to adopt. He said the IMF must make changes to maintain stable and robust international monetary system. Now, what's interesting right here, he references what Lagarde said in 2011. Lipton, who has spent much of his career at the IMF, has served since 2011 as the fund's second-ranking official. Praised the Bretton Woods founders for creating the end of the World War II. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, guys. And I didn't know this. This is kind of very interesting, and I do believe this is why they've been talking about Ripple being the answer for BTC or for China, and it's this right here. But he added that the current formula, where the United States has 16% share of voting power, followed by 6% for Japan and 6% for China, the world's second largest economy, has not fully kept pace with economic reality. Now, we must reckon with the fact that our formula have not fully kept pace. We cannot accept to retain the global reach and resources that we need unless countries gaining economic importance and ready to take Kama Sutra responsibility gain appropriately in their say at the fund. Now, what's he saying, guys, is basically Lipton says some countries feel. Basically, the IMF bylaws, this is it right here. The IMF bylaws call for the fund to be based in the largest member economy. The bylaws of the IMF funds to be based in the largest member economy. Lagarde said 2 years ago it was possible for the IMF to be based in Beijing in a decade if growth trends in China and other big emerging markets continued and are reflected in the IMF's voting structure. Wow, guys, I did not know that. This is a mic drop moment right here, big time. The IMF's bylaws call for the fund to be based in the largest member economy. So basically what they're saying is, as of right now, US has the largest economy with the 16% voting power. Japan has 6 and China has 6. But they said if China continues on the direction they're going with, the economy growing the way it has, they could be the superpower and the IMF could be based in Beijing. Wow. Lipton said some countries feel the lack of influence they deserve in others. This is amazing. Lipton also said the IMF sees significant gains from development of new financial technologies to increase efficiency and transparency and benefit people who are currently excluded from traditional banking system. Wow. This is amazing, guys. But he also outlined risks posed by digital currencies, including potential emergence of new monopolies. How personal data is monetized, impacts on weaker currencies, and expansion of dollarization. They also create opportunities for illicit activities, threat to financial stability, and cooperation effectively taking a role at central banks. So regulators, the IMF, will need to step up. Now, guys, I believe this article is going to go perfect with what is going on at the IMF. And I think we were kind of like missing a small piece of the puzzle. Now, basically, being that if China gains so much, if their economy grows so much, they gain control of the IMF. I did not know that. Will XRP be Trump's answer to China? Ripple strategist says that Washington is doing its homework on XRP, concerned about foreign control. Wow, concerned. This whole article seems so different now. Concerned about foreign control. Now we know the foreign control they're talking about. Controlling the IMF, digital currency, crypto, technology, largest economy. That is for concern. In an interview published by Breaker, Corey Johnson, you guys remember Corey Johnson from Ripple, suggested that the Ripple team has been in talks with the White House, which is concerned by the fact that China is mining the majority of the world's Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it seems like they're probably concerned about a little bit more than that now that we see this IMF article come out. There's clearly a lot of homework going on. And the White House in particular seems to be thinking about what it means to have 80% of Bitcoin mining taking place in China and a majority of Ether mining taking place in China also. Johnson declined to mention the names, but said we're in regular talks throughout Washington and meet with regulators as well as politicians. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton did speak at a Ripple event in October, but that was not an official capacity. Wow. Guys, this is amazing. However, it can be argued that with XRP, foreign control is replaced by private control. Okay, so that's a whole nother tactic or angle right there. But the angle, the point of the story is, guys, is basically, you know, with the economy growing in China, they could take control of the IMF. So it seems like there's a lot of concerns at the IMF, and there's a lot going on, that's for sure. Plans within plans within plans. IMF must adapt to China's rise, fintech to stay relevant. What do you guys think about that? Did you guys know that if China gets their economy grows even more, that they would have to move the IMF to Beijing? Wow. Let me know what you guys think about that. Is XRP the answer? The CKJ coin will come down right now. Smash that coin and subscribe to the channel. Smash them thumbs up. Hit that subscribe and that notification bell. You'll be notified when I release a video. Much love. Mahalo.